welcome back to Brands Hatch Indy for round 2 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship on BSR TV. Delighted to have you with us, as always. Chris Cohen in the commentary box with Rob Burton. Exciting one coming up, Rob.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, definitely exciting one coming up, and yeah, after that first race there, a lot of drivers will be hoping to improve on their previous race.
So that last one was taken by Stelian Chepelewski. Could have gone to Andreas Katz, but we saw a very brave overtaking manoeuvre, very well executed as well, I have to say. Katz can't have been too disappointed to lose out to such a good overtake.
Yeah, definitely a great battle at the front there, and yeah, we weren't quite sure who was gonna win that race.
So it's Chepelewski on pole, Katz second, Richard Wilde will be starting third, and fourth position on the grid will be going to Simon Field. And this is another 16-lap race, but we're going to do things slightly differently here on BSR TV. We do have unique access to Mr. Matthew Dalton, who is driving tonight from, I believe, the 17th, 18th place on the grid, Matt?
It might be P20, mate.
About 20, okay. But he has very bravely volunteered to talk us through a live start in this series. He's a very brave man, and from sort of mid-pack, it should be very interesting to see just what goes through his head as the launch procedure gets underway, which we're now just coming up to.
Yeah, should be good fun.
It could all go rather pear-shaped, but is there any particular key to just keeping this clean as you get away from the line with so many cars around you, mate?
In all honesty, in this series so far, I've found I don't know. I think you need a little bit of luck, and then a little bit of judgment, and you can either sort of really go for it, or you can try and hang back and be careful. So I think we'll see where we are on going into the first turn and see what everybody else does and make a judgment from there, really.
And of course, reverse grid in the final race means that if you can get up to 10th position here, you'll be on for pole. So 10 places to make up possibly, but is that realistic?
Well, anything can happen off the start. My pace in the first race was pretty good. I just had a bit of an incident in the first turn and the first lap, so if we can get a clean run at it, I think it's possible. It's always that carrot to be extra aggressive on the first lap.
Yeah, of course, and it's going to be tough, I suppose, because you're aware that there's going to be some slower drivers up in front of you, but they're not necessarily going to stay there. You're going to want to try and get around as many of them as possible, but so's everyone else, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
I know that Chris Shaw on the right-hand side of me here is reasonably quick.
How difficult is it to get these cars off the line? They're big, heavy cars. They rely on turbo for a lot of their power, and they're front-wheel drive.
Yeah, you get a big bog down on the start usually, so my clutch has been playing a little bit silly with me lately, so I'm just waiting. I'll keep the revs up and then just knock it into gear as it goes green. You usually get a bit of a bog down that you have to manage, and then you short shift up, so we'll see how it goes. Temptation at the minute is to go right round the outside flat out.
Well, the lights are on, so talk us through this, Matt.
Yeah, okay, so we'll see what happens now. Short shift up to second. And everybody's slowing already, so I'm going to try and position myself out wide here and see what happens. That's not what we wanted to happen.
It's potentially recoverable. How's it feel?
Okay, so far. Carnage for everybody, so... Oh, no, she's pretty damaged, actually.
You're going to go for the toe here?
Yeah, no, I'll try and limp it round, I think.
Well, that is a shame, but it didn't look like you had a lot of choice in what was going to happen. It looked like your fate was kind of predestined there, almost, Matt.
Yeah, that is the way these things go, unfortunately, mate. It is. You're a bit of a bystander.
Okay.
I'm going to have to take the toe, yep.
We'll leave you to kind of recover from that first lap incident, but thanks very much for talking us through what an opening of one of these races is like, Matt.
Yeah, no problem, mate. I wish it had got a bit better than that. We'll try again sometime.
That's Matt Dalton, unfortunately not getting quite the start he wanted, but a man who has got the start that he wanted in this race is Stelian Chepelewski, who currently leads from Andreas Katz, Richard Wild third, and Simon Field in fourth position at the moment, although dropping down. What's happened to Field?
Yeah, we're just watching him now, and yeah, he has dropped down a bit. But hopefully we can catch up and find out what happened there.
Well, that's Julian Janowski right behind him, but Ellis Stevens has managed to make his way up to fourth position now, I believe. Is that right? Fourth position for Stevens, behind Richard Wild.
Yep, that's right. Fourth position behind Wild there, that's right.
Some information still missing from my timing screen here, unfortunately. But yeah, that was quite a big first lap incident, wasn't it? I mean, it's difficult to say where it all went wrong, especially from Matt Dalton's point of view. But something went wrong somewhere, and once again we had a big tangle at the first corner.
Yeah, there seemed to be a lot of cars involved there in that first lap incident, because we're showing from 24th down to 33rd. Cars are lapped down.
So Adam Terry, just looking down the timing screen here, Adam Terry is currently in 12th place, picked up some damage to the front of that car, so not getting through the first lap unscathed. He's currently chasing down Robert Fagg, who we know is a very quick driver, but he's 3.5 seconds behind at the moment, and doesn't seem to be making too many inroads into getting that position back. Simon Field, meanwhile, losing out, like we said. Just one position, but he's got to worry about Julian Janowski, who's right behind him, and that's one of the Wix Racing cars has just pulled off just in front. Is that it's one of the other Wix Racing cars? It's a scene coming off the front in front of Druids anyway. Damien Harrison possibly there. No, he's still going round, so it's not him. Apologies to Damien. He's doing absolutely fine, but. It's looking good for Chapelewski at the moment. That's what I've got to say there.
I believe it was Simon Pop who's in the pit lane right now.
Okay, alright, thanks for that, Rob. That makes sense. Chapelewski is about half a second ahead of Andreas Katz. So Katz will want to get him back for that rather daring but well executed overtake in the last race, won't he? But we know Chapelewski's not perfect. We've seen him lose the lead through a mistake. And anything can happen here, but odds on Chapelewski at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. If they cross the line here to go, we're 11 laps to go now, and Chapelewski's still leading there, but not by much. You're talking about half a second now.
Let's just go on board with Andreas Katz and see what it's like from his point of view. We've seen a few desperate, or well, not desperate, so we've seen some lunges down the inside of Druids. It seems to be the main place to overtake, Rob.
Yeah, it does. I mean, some of the lunges are quite late, and people are probably a bit desperate to try and get up if and get decent points, really.
And we've seen that Chapelewski is fast through the lap, but towards the end of the lap he does struggle with his final corner, doesn't he? And he's got out wide a little bit there, losing a little bit of time. Katz will feel like he might have a potential way round. There's two back markers side by side, that's not good news, is it? And some smoke up in the distance, so they've got to watch out for that. One of the cars has gone off. They're just taking it easy there. Going to try and go down the inside of this back marker, who hasn't seen them, and that's very close, isn't it? And there's contact.
Oh, contact.
Cars make contact with Chapelewski. Just could have done some damage there, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the cars just got to be a little bit more aware of where everyone is on the track and let leaders by in a good, timely manner.
Yeah, well, I thought there was plenty of opportunity to look in the mirror there, but you know it is difficult when you're under pressure. Katz had to give up a little bit of time there rather than risk the contact, I think. But lap 7, coming up to the halfway point in this race, he's going to need to do something, isn't he?
Yeah, 10 laps to go. I mean, he's still got a bit of time, 0.2 of a second behind, and yeah, well, you never know. With these lapped cars and that, he could easily catch him up and do a good overtaking move.
So the other exciting battle going on the track at the moment is this one, being led by Julian Janowski. Steve Richardson is just behind him, Nick McCarron behind him, and well, it's very close at the moment, isn't it? Look at that, coming down into Druids there.
Yeah, Nick taking a wider line to try and get an early exit.
So picking up the third, or the last car in this particular battle, we're on board with Nick McCarron, and have a look to see what he's seeing out on the track. We've seen him get involved in a nasty incident in the last race. Possibly nothing he could have done about it, really, just one of those things. And he started from 16th, so he's made up 7 places already, so doing pretty well.
Yeah, doing pretty well, and hopefully you can make some decent points after the last race.
Steve Richardson, who was up in front, is not an easy man to catch. Neither is Julian Janowski. They both proved that. And McCarron's gone rather wide there on the entrance to Paddock Hill. He's given up quite a bit of time, but he's going to need to do a little bit better than that with just 7 laps to go. Possible signs that he might have overworked the tyres at this stage of the race, Rob.
Yeah, it's a possibility, because when the tyres do get really hot from doing a lot of cornering speed and that, they can wear out a little bit, and we've still got 8 laps to go, so still quite a way to go in this race yet.
Just a little bit further back on the track as well, Adam Terry is chasing down Stephen McGarity. That's the black and orange Dynojet car you can see just up in front. Adam Terry is championship winning material, don't forget. He missed out on the narrowest of margins last season. We heard from him a little bit earlier on VSR TV. He will want that 11th place. He'll want the 10th place, really, won't he, Rob? Because that will put him on pole for the last race.
Good point now, actually. Yeah, the last race is the first grid of the top 10, so yeah, 10th place would be a nice place to finish this race and start from pole next race.
And he's not able to make it work this time round. Looks like he's driving on the ragged edge trying to get past Stephen McGarity, isn't he? But he's down the inside now for Graham Hill and won't make it work. But still pressure from... And now look at this, Robert Fagg is right on the back of Nick McCarron and Steve Richardson, so this will be an interesting battle. As McCarron goes wide again, you have to wonder what's going on with his tyres there. Robert Fagg, one of the newcomers here, but already proved he's very fast. Here on lap 11 from Brands Hatch Indy, he is going to be desperate to get that position from Nick McCarron.
Yeah, this could be a great battle for the last couple of laps here, and see what these drivers can do and who gets ahead of one another.
So currently Steve Richardson is leading this group in the eBay Motors car. That Marshall Team Club 44 car belongs to Nick McCarron, and then Robert Fagg in the white and blue Speedworks is at the back. A bit of damage on a few of these cars as well, Rob.
Yeah, probably had a little bit of bumping up the back of the cars and trying to get by, and we'll see what happens here.
Love taps, I think they're called in this sport. Oh, and down the inside, Robert Fagg keeps it nice and tight there. Sorry, Rob. Down the inside of Nick McCarron. We saw McCarron go wide there last lap, and now this is going to be too wide. He's got the toe, but McCarron would be wise to yield here, wouldn't he? Yeah, and he's done it. He's into the back of Robert Fagg. That's going to destabilise Fagg. McCarron goes wide. Fagg keeps it under control there. Both of them got away with that, didn't they?
Yeah, that was lucky. Both of them got away with that, and they're still behind that eBay Motors car.
And you have to say, I'm wondering if Richardson might be holding them up here. Those two cars you can see in the background are Steve McGarity and Adam Terry, and they're closing up on this pack as well. So, we're in for quite an exciting finish over the course of the next 3 laps, as Richardson is now under threat from Fagg.
Yeah, it looks like Fagg's trying to get past him quickly, so they didn't get held up by the guy behind him.
He wants to stub out Richardson as quickly as possible. So McCarron can't make another attempt on
and he's going up the inside.
He's
no, he's just looking.
Thought better of it this time round. Richardson getting a little bit sideways there. It's not the best corner for him in this race. There's a lot of dirt coming up off the track there. But just look at those two cars in the background now as well. Those two will be right with this pack very soon. It's all to play for here, and hopefully it won't end in tears like it did in that mid-pack battle last race. But don't forget that this battle does span down to 12th place. Oh, and sideways Fagg is not going to be able to get round there. This battle does go down to 12th place, and that means the reverse grid does come into it.
Yeah, what great racing here with 3 laps. Well, Chris Cosh on the line now, and these guys have put on a great show for everyone at home.
Going on board now with Robert Fagg as he takes the outside line into Paddock Hill bend, coming down the hill there. See the eBay Motors car, Steve Richardson just clips the curb. Fagg will go down the inside now in an attempt to take this one at Druids, but and it looks like Richardson's gone very wide. He's had to give up the place. Fag is through. Those two in the back are right on this group now as well. So Steve Richardson is now down to 9th place, under threat from Nick McCarron. Fag should surely start to pull away now, Rob.
Yeah, I suspect so. Now Steve's got to defend the next position with Nick behind him.
What a fascinating battle this is. Nick McCarron right on the back bumper of Steve Richardson's eBay Motors Kia there. Adam Terry, though, picking up the back of this group. He'll feel hungry for this one, won't he? He could take quite a few places here if he plays it right.
Yeah, they're just coming up to the start-finish line now, and yeah, they're right behind one another as they cross the line.
Adam Terry then coming into Druids for... Oh, and he's gone into the back of Stephen McGarity. McGarity was tough on the brakes there. That would have damaged Terry's car, surely, and McGarity might well have got away with that, but that might have put paid to Adam Terry's chances there, I'm afraid. Nick McCarron, meanwhile, in 10th in that last spot. And we're just going round now for, on the last lap, Stelian Chepelevsky is now a second and a half in front of the second place man, Andreas Katz. So you've got to say, Rob, it does favour Chepelevsky this circuit. He is faster. We know how fast Katz can be, but there's no answer throughout this race.
Yeah, definitely. Chepelevsky's really fast. He's done really well today so far, and he's putting on a good show and getting some good points on the board.
Richard Wild is in 3rd, Ellis Stevens 4th, Simon Field is in 5th. So across the line then, to take the second victory out of 2. 2 out of 2 races for Stelian Chepelevsky. Well done to him, well done to Addison Lee Racing. Great performance. Katz 2nd, Richard Wild across the line in 3rd. Simon Field is right on the tail of Ellis Stevens, who does hold on, so Field drops a place from the last race, but won't be too disappointed to take 5th place there. Craig Burleson, who had a very quiet race from where we were sitting, holds on for 6th. Janowski 7th. Fag takes 8th there. Steve Richardson, look at that gaggle of cars there. Richardson does hold on for 9th. McCarron 10th. McGarity 11th and Terry 12th. So that's important, Rob, because McCarron will start on pole position, and McGarity and Terry, who couldn't get past those other cars, will remain in 11th and 12th.
Yeah, that's right. Very important thing that the top 10 is reversed in the next final race, race 3, and so that will put Nick McCurran on pole with Steve behind him. And
one man who was doing very well in the last race, Ander Diaz, he didn't manage to come back through in this race. He's finished 21st, I think. It's a bit of a shame for him, but only 17 cars on the lead lap as far as I can tell.
Yeah, only 17 cars on the lead lap there. There were some bad incidents there, and we also saw what happened to Matt Dalton. Unfortunately, we did speak to him during the race, but that didn't work quite well out for him.
No, it didn't indeed. Stephen Hefford, who came home 10th in the last race, got dropped down to 18th there, so probably some action from him as well. That is race 2. The top 10 are up on your screen now, but don't forget those top 10 will be reversed, so McCarron will be on pole, Richardson 2nd, Robert Fagg will be 3rd, and that means that Chepelevsky starts 10th, Katz starts 9th, and Wild starts 8th, Rob, and that's going to make the first few laps of the final race even more interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely more interesting now into this final race. I expect some of the drivers will be pushing quite hard, so we may see some more incidents.
And let's see if we can have a quick word with 18th place finisher Stephen Hefford, because he did finish well in the first race, but not so well in this race, so I wonder if he might be able to explain to us how it was out there. Steve, are you there? Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get a word with Steve, but let's come back to him perhaps later on. Interesting though that he did finish 10th, and now he's down to 18th. So he's going to be starting 18th in the final race as well, whereas if he'd finished 10th in this race instead, of course he'd be on the pole, Rob.
Yep, that's right, yep. Top 10 of reverse grid for the final race of the day.
Let's see if we can get a quick word with Adam Terry, who finished 12th in that last race. Adam, are you there?
Hi Chris, yeah, I'm here.
Adam, 12th place finish for you there. Very well done, but it looked for a while like you might be able to take the 10th place and sort of elevate yourself to pole.
I think I might have been 14th, mate. I made a mistake on the last corner.
Oh, you're showing us 12th on our screens, but it's not always. It doesn't always update. So let's see what we've got here. Yeah, no, it is 14th. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
congratulations
went.
then.
Yeah, well, it got tight. I was up to 12th, and like you say, I think it might have been Steve and Nick ahead of me, and they both were braking on the corner, and I just lost it a little bit, but managed to recover back to 14th. But yeah, I was aiming for 10th there, but it was a long way back from. I think I started 28th on the grid, and also got caught up in the mess at the start, and had to sort of work my way back through. So a bit disappointed not to get the 10th, but I've made up quite a few places there.
Now, we had a rather unique view of the start from the cockpit of Matt Dalton, who started in 20th place. You would have started behind him by the sounds of things, and it just looked like all hell broke loose. I'm wondering maybe you can tell us a bit more about what happened there.
Well, I mean, I didn't see so far ahead. I was being very cautious at the start with. I mean, my reputation at Brands Hatch at the minute is, not the best. I've failed to finish the last 4 races, so I was pleased to just come home with that one. But yeah, I mean, people have got to realise that when the track conditions change and it gets a little bit cooler, that it's going to be more slippy, and people are diving into that first corner, and really, I just wish they'd all take it a bit easy. They'd all benefit and get round a lot easier if they did so.
So is it something of a lottery when you come to that first corner for the first time, just sort of hoping nothing will happen to you?
Well, from my case, it was there, but people just need to take it more careful. They're on cold tyres. It's the first lap. Just the tyres don't come into you until the first 2 or 3 laps. I think it's a little bit impatience on people's behalf, really.
And we've seen 2 victories so far from Stelian Trepalewski. Some pretty impressive driving from what we've seen as well. Is that a surprise to you, or did you think that he was always going to be competitive this season?
Well, the 1 or 2 races that I saw him last year, he was he was very competitive. So no, it's not a surprise at all. And great credit to him for winning the first 2 races. Congratulations to him. He looks like he'll be a strong candidate for the season. And if he finishes or attends most of the races, I'm sure he'll be right up there come the end of the season.
Well, we're not going to see you in the maelstrom of the reverse grid in the top 10, because you'll be starting from 14th, it looks like, Adam. But how high do you expect to be able to finish in this final race?
Well, I'm not sure at the minute, but not with my luck at Brands Hatch at the minute. But somewhere top 7 or 8 would be okay for me, just to get some points on the board.
Well, I'm certain you'll entertain us on your way there. Thanks very much for joining us, Adam.
Yeah, no problem, Chris.
So that's Adam Terry. Once again, always optimistic. Very nice chap, and looking forward to seeing what he can achieve in the final race. But you're right. He was right, Rob. I didn't spot that last corner mistake, and neither did you. So he came down to 14th rather than 12th.
Yeah, we didn't spot that at all, and sometimes our timing screen doesn't always update properly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I do have one screen here where he's 12th, and the next screen is 14th, so difficult to account for that, I suppose. But it's interesting what he's saying there, Rob, isn't it, about the first corner. Cold tyres, everyone's keen to make up as many places as possible, but you have to feel like sometimes it's best to just sort of hold back, let everyone else make the mistake in front of you, and just sort of pick your way through. What we heard before was that Ellis Stevens was basically stopping on the track to try and avoid an incident, and still came through and finished in 5th or 4th place.
Yeah, that's right. You can either make a good charge, but you do risk running into people, or just hold back a bit for a lap or so and make them make the mistake and just go through.
Well, that all makes it very interesting for the final race, and if you are sticking around for the final race and you're watching live, don't go anywhere. Leave your Twitch open. It will retune all by itself. Reverse grid, don't forget, just to make things even more exciting. So if you're watching on YouTube, just advance to the next video. But round 3 of the iRacing British Touring Car Championship will be coming to you live on BSR TV in just a moment.